Jon Matsubara is the head chef at Feast.
He's the owner.
An owner, yes.
All right.
And home of the original Hawaii-style lobster roll.
Yep.
When you think of gigantic innovations and inventions, you think of like the wheel or penicillin. I would add the Hawaii-style lobster roll to that list of innovations.
During a very tricky period. So this happened during COVID when restaurants were closing, people were losing their jobs, inflation was going up. And so who would want to spend all this money on an expensive lunch item? Everyone was going down. And my wife's like, you got to make a lobster roll. And I said, what? That goes against everything I've ever learned in this industry.
Right.
And the thing went viral. I've never seen anything go viral in my 30 years of cooking. I've never worked at a restaurant where we sold over 300 of one item. So it came down to when we were really busy, we sold one per minute. I was in law school, my first career. I realized that I really didn't want to do it. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go through law school. I'm going to go apply for the 2 best restaurants in Hawaii. And at that time, I thought it was like Roy's and Alan Wong's. So I showed up over there and I said, what is it going to take to get a job here? He goes, well, do you have any experience? I said, no. I said, well, they said, do you go to culinary school? I said, no. They said, well, you can wash dishes if you really want it. And so I ended up washing dishes for Roy's and Alan Wong's. And the deal I made was at Roy's, I said, okay, I'll wash your dishes, but I'd get to come in on my own time and work with the corporate chef or whatever and just make sauces for 4 hours, and then I go bang out some dishes. And that's how it started.
Wow.
Because a lot of people don't want to do that part of the journey, right? They're like, yeah, I want to get paid, or I want to be in this position or whatever.
You know, it showed me how bad I wanted it. I was covered with other people's food. But, you know, that's where I met my wife. My wife was in law school, and she dated me when I was a dishwasher, so that's true love, you know.
Yeah.
I got their blessing. When I worked for both of them, you know, I told them straight up, I'm going to work part-time for Roy. I'm going to work part-time because I'm a dishwasher. So I want to learn. I was there to learn. I would go a lot of my free time was spent over there. And so they knew that I was serious and I wasn't playing around. So they really took the time to mentor me. Even to this day, Roy and Alan, every time I ask them about business or anything, they really take the time to listen to me. I can call them up and just talk to them. Once I became a cook at Allen's, I focused on Allen's. So I left my part-time at Roy's and went to Allen's, and I was there for about 3 years. I worked every station. I mean, to me, Allen's like one of the greatest teachers. You know, he was able to teach and communicate a lot. I chose the greatest food city in the world, which was New York City at that time. So I packed up everything and left.
And your wife was cool with all of this?
She came with me.
Wow.
She's crazy too. But there were 4 restaurants with a 4-star rating by the New York Times, which was like the highest you could get. Yeah. And so my goal was to work for at least 2 of them while I was up there. You know, that was incredible learning experience. It was tough. I lived in a locker room, a doorman's locker room for one of the condos. So there was, about the size of a bathroom, and so they had no windows. There was a little refrigerator, that was for about a year or 2, and then Jamie came down, and then she got her law degree down here, passed the bar in Hawaii. She went up to New York and she passed the bar up there. Then she got a job being an attorney on Wall Street. Okay. So I moved on up to like a regular apartment, Right.
Would you have any advice for somebody that's like a home cook or somebody who says, you know what, maybe I want to be a chef? Would you recommend going your route? You put yourself out there and say, I'm going to work, or would you recommend going to a culinary school?
I'd recommend you cooking as a hobby because right now, restaurants are not a good business. Restaurants used to be a good business, but now you don't know because that pandemic happened, right? So it can happen again.
Yeah. Right.
The margins are so small. There's other things you can do to have a gratifying life. And if you cook on the weekends and it's a hobby, you can fulfill that. But if you really, really want it, come call me. I'll help you get there. But it's if you really, really want it.